Okay, so on this next slide here, I have something for a shift summary. But before we can summarize, we need to look at these examples and figure out what's actually going on. So before I worry about this, I want to look at this shift right here, y equals x plus 2 squared. Okay, so I told you guys when we do this, we're going to have parent functions. And then based on your parent functions, you're going to have some shifts going on. So the first two shifts that we're going to look at is we're going to look at an x plus 2 squared that's inside of parentheses, and we're going to look at an x minus 5 squared. Okay? And this is just kind of an investigation. We're going to investigate and see what happens when I deal with the x plus 2 squared and when I deal with the x minus 5 squared. Okay? So, let's go to the internet. And I have, first off, the only one showing up in red right here, I have y equals x squared. That would be my parent function. Y equals x squared. Okay? So my parent function has 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, negative 1, 1, negative 2, 4. Now, what would happen if I looked at y equals x plus 2 squared in parentheses? Okay, well, this is going to cause a shift. What kind of shift is this going to cause? Well, the x plus 2 squared has moved my parent function. What direction has it moved my parent function? Hopefully you guys can notice that this point has moved over 2 spots. This has moved over 2 spots, moved over 2 spots, moved over 2 spots, and moved over 2 spots. This function has shifted to the left 2 times. This function has shifted to the left 2 times. So when I had a y equals x plus 2, that shifted my function to the left twice. Huh, interesting. Well, now let's look at an example where I have x minus 5 in parentheses. What does x minus 5 in parentheses look like? My x minus 5 has again moved my points, but this time it's moved them in the opposite direction. It's moved them to the right 5 times. Each of these points has been shifted to the right 5 times. Okay? So there's something interesting that we've just discovered about that there. Basically, what you've discovered is that when something is inside of the parentheses like this, it is moving it left or right. Okay? We will say that it is moving it horizontally. So, when I am dealing with my shift summary, a horizontal shift is going to occur on the inside. So anytime you see something that is on the inside of a function, and for this one, inside would be inside of the parentheses. Anything that is on the inside is going to cause it to shift left or right. Okay? Now, something interesting that we hopefully saw with that, is that when I'm dealing with this inside function, x plus 2, move that to the left. When I look at numbers to the left, I see negative numbers. Interesting. When I had an x minus 5, that moved to the right 5. Okay? When I look on the right side of the graph, I see positive numbers. So that's kind of weird. That's kind of backwards. And we have to know that about shifts that are on the inside of the function. Okay? When you are dealing with shifts, or horizontal shifts, those horizontal shifts are going to be on the inside. They're going to be on the inside. And they do the opposite direction. So if I see negative, if I see a negative, that goes to the right. But if I see a positive, that goes to the left. And that's weird. Inside, we do the opposite. That goes, negative goes to the right, positive goes to the left. Okay? So when you guys get a problem like this on your homework, okay, what you have to do first is you have to graph the parent function. the first thing we have to do is graph the parent function. So remember my 5 points I have to have. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, negative 1, 1, negative 2, 4. Okay, there's my parent function. Now, what I'm going to expect from you guys is I'm going to expect you guys to look at that and see it's in parentheses. Okay, in parentheses is horizontal. And then you're going to think in your head, oh yeah, when I do the horizontal, I do the opposite. So even though plus 2 makes me think I should move to the right 2, I actually move everything to the left 2. So my point 0, 0 moved to the left 2. My point 1, 1 moved to the left 2. My point negative 1, 1 moves to the left 2. My point 2, 4 moves to the left 2. My point negative 2, 4 moves to the left 2. So when you guys have these problems on your homework, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to always graph your parent function first, and then you graph your shift. Okay? Next one we talked about, this one is going to go to the right 5. I start out graphing my parent function. You need 5 points, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, negative 1, 1, negative 2, 4. You have to make sure that I can see those 5 points. Little dots don't work. They have to be the full point. Okay? And then again, how should I think of that in my head? You're going to look. Oh, okay, it's inside parentheses. Inside means that I'm going left and right, and we always do the opposite. So I'm going to go to the right 5. Okay? So each of those points, 0, 0, moves to the right 5. 1, 1 moves to the right 5. 2, 4 moves to the right 5. Negative 1, 1 moves to the right 5. Negative 2, 4 moves to the right 5. Right? So those are examples of horizontal shifts. Those are the examples of horizontal shifts. Now we're going to look at an example of a vertical shift. So what will our vertical shifts look like? Well, they're going to look like x squared plus 1. They're going to look like x squared minus 5. Okay? So let's do a little experiment with those then. We're going to go back to our Desmos. Okay? So again, whoops, got all that up there. Let me erase. Again, I've got my 5 points on my parent function. Okay? Now what's going to happen when I do x squared minus 5? X squared minus 5. Oh. It looks like each of these points shifted down 5. Now if I think about that, that actually makes a little bit of sense, right? I have a negative, so if I have a negative, they move down 5. Each of the points move down 5 if I'm dealing with a negative. Interesting. Okay? Well, what do you think is going to happen if I have a plus 1 like I have there? What would a plus 1 do? Well, here we go. X squared plus 1. Oh, it looked like each of these points moved up 1 spot. Each of my points moved up 1 spot. So the nice thing about your vertical shifts are, your vertical shifts do exactly what you think they would. Okay? So if I go back and I'm going to practice here on my homework, or practice like what I would be doing on my homework, they're going to ask you to graph y equals x squared. Ask you to graph y equals x squared. I graph 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. I'm just graphing my parent function. Okay? And then you guys are going to look. Is that plus 1 on the inside? Remember, the only way it's on the inside is if it's on the inside of the parentheses. Are there any parentheses? No, there's no parentheses. So if there's no parentheses, that means that this is vertical, and that means that this is going to go up 1 because we do what it's supposed to. So instead of 0, 0, I've got 0, 1. Instead of 1, 1, I've got 1, 2. Instead of 2, 4, I've got 2, 5. Okay? Each of my points moves up 1 spot. They each move up 1 spot. Okay? Now, oops, I forgot to draw my parabola right here. Sorry about that. Okay? Now, what's going to happen then when they ask me to graph an x squared minus 5? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to graph my parent function, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, negative 1, 1, negative 2, 4. So remember, first graph your parent function. Okay? Then I've got an x squared minus 5. Again, we're going to say, okay, what is this? Is this vertical or horizontal? Well, there's no parentheses, so there's nothing on the inside. No parentheses, nothing on the inside. So since there's nothing on the inside, that means it's on the outside. That's my vertical shift. And we do what it says for vertical. We're going down 5. Okay? So instead of 0, 0, I've got 0, negative 5. 1, 1, 1, negative 4. 2, 4, 2, negative 1. Each of our points are moving down 5 spots. Okay? So that is what our vertical shifts look like. Okay? So if we go back to that summary page, okay, horizontal, we said that was on the inside and we did the opposite. Vertical is going to be referring to things that are on the outside. Vertical is going to be referring to things on the outside. So the examples that we saw were going to be things that were added or subtracted. Added or subtracted on it cause a vertical shift to happen. Now when we mess around with some other stuff, you guys are going to figure out that you can also have some stuff out in front of the parentheses. So if I had a y equals negative x plus 1 squared, the x plus 1 is on the inside. That's a horizontal change. But this negative on the outside, that negative is going to cause a vertical change to that. And we'll talk about negatives in the next video.